Admiral, do you read? This vessel has lost main power. It is retreating.
The Orville, Sympathy for the Devil. Written by Seth MacFarlane. Read by Bruce Boxleitner.
It's funny because people are like, oh, they would have never done. I remember reading someone's comment about how the novella one, that they would have never done that and shot the show without Ed and everybody. You know, this was just extended for the novella, but the actual script was that. It was
I figured I was like, of course they would do it.
Yeah,
I mean, an episode,
all new people.
Yeah, I mean an episode like that, I was disappointed because I'm like, oh man, if they were able to make that episode, I mean, that's Emmy worthy type stuff for a show to do.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, like my two favorite episodes thematically and story wise for the season were Topa's episode 4, or was it 6? I think it was 6 is what it aired as. 6 or 5.
Yeah, the Tale of Two Topas.
That's my favorite episode that aired in the entire season, just bar none.
Yeah.
But the one that's right behind it, that's just as powerful, is episode 9. I forget what he ended up calling it, the novella one.
Oh, Sympathy for the Devil.
Yep, there you go, that one. So that one, man, we were so set to shoot it. Kassar and everybody had gone to Prague because we were going to shoot it in Prague as Germany. They had scouted it. They came back from scouting it, and we were gonna do kind of like a lot of shooting in Prague, and then we were gonna do a little bit in LA, and everything was set to go. And that was March 5th of 2020, and then a week later, everything shut down.
Yeah.
And so the issue was we couldn't shoot it when we would lift back up again in October because there was no actual way to leave the country to go into Prague. Because
it really wouldn't have looked right if it had to be filmed here in the States.
Well, it was impossible. We tried. We looked for, that was kind of like the last resort. Because I happened to be, between season 2 and season 3, I took a trip to Berlin with my wife, and we were looking at, I was looking at that area going like, is there anything in Berlin that could play for Berlin? But then you realize the whole city was razed to the ground, and there's nothing that really matches the architecture, you know, that's still kind of standing besides like an odd building or two. So it ended up being, you know, Prague was kind of, I guess, has been the substitute for that. Is interesting thing. But Kit and everybody had built out this whole concentration camp set. It was going to be, it would have been one of those weird invisible VFX shows where it's just like remove all the modern touches, but still, I don't know. I think sometimes this show is really beautiful in the moments that don't involve the wall-to-wall effects. Where it's just about character, you know.
Even the finale. I mean, it was such a great wrap up of not only just some of the characters, but of the story and the theme. And I felt that the finale episode really, it's like the Orville was departing with a very important message to not only the audience but to humanity about, you know, about social media and getting, you know, all of Lacella's story basically.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think like, you know, it's interesting when you look at, you know, when you're so deep inside of it, working on the show, and you're kind of sitting there going, okay, you know, they ripped us apart in season 1, and season 2, they kind of started to like the show a little. Season 3, people really like the show for the most part, but you know, you're always trying to kind of make sure you do your best work, but also